much movement in midday because of the hot weather. So this is a northwest wind. So instead of my scent going this way, it's going to be going behind me. Hopefully they're coming back from feeding all night, getting water, doing what they're doing, running. And then I'll catch them coming back to bedding. So, and it is raining, so that's not good either. It's really loud in the woods. So, I'm going to wait until that sun comes up just a little bit more. Because as you can see, if there's anything in front of me, that's what it's going to look like in my scope. So, I got these dogs. I'm shaking them a little bit. They came out from nowhere, man. They came out from behind me off the right-hand side. You can't see them, but there's one down there by this hay bale where you're walking. So these yearlings are back over here. Here they are. I think there's a buck chasing them. I'm hearing grunting. They're running hard. They came up on that hill. I think there's a buck somewhere. I can hear the grunting. They're back behind that hill. Holy shit. There's one right here, hold on. Y'all gonna have to give me a minute. I'm gonna have to get a shot on one of these deer. Hold on. So they're back behind that hill. The problem is the wind's coming out of the north and it's pushing my scent to the back. I gotta shut the camera off. I'm gonna get out the dog lead. I'm gonna try and fool one of these young ones and see what happens. What really sucks is this tree here that goes around like that. I just watched that thing snap, and then this branch here got caught in that tree too, falling. There's a couple of them up there that are just hanging. It's starting to get a little bit wild. That was crazy right there. This one where it starts there and it goes there, that top one, I watched that one just fall. Why didn't you film it? Because I had my hands covered over my head in the tree stand, trying not to die.
Alright, so I'm trying not to make this into a weather rant. And people that are making weather predictions. But I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just not satisfied. I'm not satisfied with this guessing game. It is a guessing game, I get it. But when you're this far wrong, you should find another line of work. But watched the weather all last night. They're calling for southwest winds to turn into northwest winds later in the day. And I was like, I don't know if I can do it. They're calling 5 to 10 miles an hour for wind. And I'm like, I can't do that with a southwest wind. I mean, I could try, but if I start spooking deer, that spot's going to get burnt. It's going to get burnt at this point, especially because it's going to be gun season tomorrow. You know, so I don't want to be spooking anything out of that spot. It's already going to be pretty wild the next week or so for gun. So I thought to myself, this is a great opportunity to tag out before, you know, the Orange Army gets in there. So even driving to the tree stand, I didn't get, a mile and a half, 2 miles down the road. And there's this house with some property and some almost like marshy stuff, which probably holds water. And I seen a deer stick its head out, trying to cross the road. And I kind of waited and, you know, slowed down and seen what this deer is going to do. I really don't want to plow a deer, you know, with my car. I don't need that mess. And as I drove by, it was a nice basket 8. Not a very tall rack, but he was a tall deer. Very muscular looking deer. He looked pretty good for being in the rut right now. So I don't know if he can't find any does. I don't know if he tended does and is going to go find more. I don't know his story. But he was a good looking deer. Very, very good looking deer. So I drove by him, looked in the rear view, and he just walked across the road. He didn't run. He didn't panic. He didn't do anything, which was really odd. And now I'm thinking to myself, while I'm driving to the tree stand, look, rut lockdown is horrible. This is when all those bucks have those does and they're not moving. And the does aren't moving either. I only have one tag left, and it's for a doe. So I'm hoping this is a sign that these doe are moving now, that the bucks are traveling. I'm getting excited. I'm going to go to the tree stand. I'm going to tag out today, the day before gun season, and I'm really, really getting stoked. So I got to the tree stand. Sunrise was 6:37, so 6:07, 30 minutes before you can take a shot. So I wanted to be in that tree stand before legal shooting light, and I was. About 6:35, 6:45, somewhere in there. Man, that first yearling, just like lightning, man, just poof, didn't even get a good look at her. She took off, went into that field there. The second one took off. I seen that one come up the hill, take off right into that field. They must have moved hay bale a little bit because there's a gap there now. Went and looked at it at the end of the day here. And, they plowed right into that field. And then the third one come up and just kind of hooked left. Went down to the gully and hooked left towards the tree stand. So I'm like, all right, here we go. So I grab it and I'm putting it up there. And I'm thinking, she's going to move out of that tree. And right there, she's going to come up. And she did that, but she came straight on. I don't know. I don't know about you. I don't know your skill level with any kind of weapon or anything like that. But it was a frontal shot, and I'm not comfortable taking frontal shots on deer. I'm just not, like broadside quartering away, they call them the easy shots, and that's what I like to do. This one, and the deer wasn't that big. I'm going to tell you that right now. Almost like it just dropped its spots. It wasn't a very big yearling. The other two were bigger than this one. And then I seen the nanny doe come. Nanny doe comes running over the hill there, running the length of it, and I'm like, well, this one's turning away because the mom's showing up, and I'm like, well, I'll shoot the mom. Didn't even get an opportunity to do that. She went plowed into that field because these other two are running around chasing each other. I mean, they're going up and down, and she comes out there, and that play, that horse play or that deer play stopped immediately. And the other two came in there and met up with the third yearling. The mom was mulling around back behind there. And at first, I thought there was a buck chasing them. I thought there's a buck chasing them because I almost heard like a grunt. But it was one of those burping grunts, like brah, brah. It was just a burping grunt. And I'm almost like if you take your dough can and you tip it and then keep on tipping it like that. It was just like, meh. And then it got deeper and deeper. So my analysis of this situation is she's not happy with those 3 yearlings, and they are just out of control, and she's trying to calm them and get them to go with her. And she's not happy. And, then they started to come back up that hill because I heard them mulling around behind it. So I knew they're probably going to come back up there because they're just young deer. And sure enough, they did. That's why I set the camera down there. Hopefully, I cut a lot of that footage out of there. But I set it there because I'm like, well, if they're going to come over the hill, I'm going to let those yearlings come over the hill and let the nanny chase them. Get them back in line. And I'm going to shoot that nanny doe when she comes over that hill. Man, I've never seen a walk of shame from a deer. I've seen it with kids when they're told no. But these deer, they came halfway up there, mulled around, and I heard that gurgling, grunting noise, and boy, they hung their heads and they walked back down that hill. So my thought process for this is, those deer were acting up, out of line, and they were told to go to their grass room or whatever. You know, they were in trouble. they were getting scolded by their mom, and then those deer had walked off, which I was really hoping she wasn't such a great parent. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that weird? And they come down there and I get a shot on her. I sat in that tree stand for another 4 hours. And that's when I heard the first gunshot. It was way off to my right. And I knew at that point, well, maybe those deer haven't made it that far. Maybe they did make it that far. I'll tell you right now, gun's not until tomorrow. But you know, I'm not going to speculate. So I didn't see anything come back that way. And then a couple of shots in front of me went off. So I'm thinking to myself, people are sighting in their guns for tomorrow, for opening day gun here in my area. So I was like, well, I'll sit here for a little bit longer. You know, at this point, it's like 11 something. And I'm like, I'm going to sit here until noon. I'll try and sit here until noon. And, you know, maybe them shooting might push deer back to me. Hopefully they don't push them away from me. And I didn't see anything. And then it was just, you know, you heard 3 shots, then you heard 2 shots, you know, about 5 to 8 minutes apart. So it's somebody sighting in their gun for tomorrow. And I said, that's probably the end of this until tonight if I go back out. Hopefully the weather clears and, you know, I don't have this much of a wind problem. Again, you know, they were calling for 5 to 10 and I saw trees break. And I saw branches and limbs come down. Branches, when I mean branches, like branches. Not like little twigs or, no, branches. I watched that tree over there off to the right of me. I watched that one break and get hung up in the other trees. It'll probably help the tree rats out there, the squirrels, to move from tree to tree to tree. But that was, you know, that's when I started thinking to myself, maybe I should get out of the tree stand. Maybe I should walk further, because there's another little spot that I can make in a pinch to hunt from the ground over there, or just leave altogether and go to hunting spot number 2. But it hasn't been that promising. Just pull the camera footage from there. That's how many deer there are. Eyewitnesses have said they've seen deer in that spot. I haven't. Again, good opportunity today. Hopefully I get another good opportunity. I am still seeing deer there, and these deer are really close now. So as long as we have this north wind, that's what I'm saying. You know, that's odd for those deer to come from that direction, and then when they left where they came from. So I don't know where they were going, unless they were on a, you know, the mom wanted to go to the grocery store and they were acting up, so she took them back home, dropped them off with the dad or something. I don't know, but she would. That's the first time I've ever heard a nanny grunt and gripe like that before. Again, I've heard deer bleat in the wild. That wasn't bleating. That was almost like, come on, we're going back home. You know what I'm saying? It was a pretty wild time today. Hopefully, I get something here soon. It looks like it's going to tail into gun season unless I go back out today and become successful. Really wanted to tag out before gun, but it's not looking that way. And now after tomorrow, deer are really going to be on alert. They're going to be really sketched out, and they're going to really be looking for movement. Then they're going to be really cautious. The only thing that works in my advantage from that is they're not going to be out in the fields. They're not going to be totally visible. They're going to try and skirt the edges. And around that area, they can skirt those edges like they did today. That's good for me, not good for the gun hunter. So, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. I tried. Sorry about the shoddy camera work, but again, you know, next year, hopefully next year is going to be better, or I can find the GoPro. I haven't been able to find that. I'll look for it today, but other than that, I had to set the camera down. You know, I'm really focused on this last tag, and it's the particular deer that I need, which is doe. That's the only tag I got left is a doe tag. So hopefully you kind of enjoyed that one. If you're hunting, watch the weather to your best ability, because I'm going to tell you, I could go on a weather rant right now. I'd like to thank my old and my new subscribers and just the people that zip through. I greatly appreciate it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Do that for me. Really helps with the algorithms. And like always, we'll catch you on the next one.